Hi everyone. We've finally come to it at last, the end of the road, the last of the video blogs. I'd like to take this opportunity to have one last little chat with you about transitioning towards a career in music and a life in music. So, for those of you who are going to be leaving high school soon, the most important thing for you to keep in mind is that your career as it ends up probably will not be how you envision it right now. I entered school at the University of Michigan as one of 8 freshmen, and I was one of only 2 violists who made it all the way through studying with the same teacher the whole way. Your college career will feature twists and turns, and it will be the 4 years of greatest growth that your life has seen to date. You should expect to change. Most college students change their majors at some point in their careers, and you should expect that too. So, in that spirit of change, it's important to keep your options open. Take other classes that you're interested in. Don't just confine yourself to music. In fact, it's a very bad move to only confine yourself to music. Find something that you enjoy and add a minor in it. Add a minor in English or in business or something else along those lines. Find something else to minor in that when you graduate and people say, "Oh, you have music skills, is there anything else that you do?" You can say, "Oh yeah, I can do this other thing," which isn't just useful for marketing yourself, it's also useful for figuring out what you can do aside from just go out and take auditions. Because, of course, almost no one graduates from college and instantly wins their dream job. I think that one of my professors at the University of Michigan said that she won her audition with the Detroit Symphony Orchestra, and it was the 8th big audition that she had taken. If you figure that that's 2 auditions a year, which, depending on how aggressive you're being, is either easygoing or a little bit harder driving, that can be anywhere from 3 or 4 years to 9 or 10 years. And that's a lot of time to fill up. And you don't just want to be treading water in the interim. It's important to find your diversity and to be able to apply that to what you're doing. Additionally, find something that's completely not related to your education and invest in it. It can be an a cappella group, it can be the marching band, it can be the chess club, it can be a drama club. Just pick something that you can leave all of your music stuff behind, at least all of your professional music stuff behind, and just go be a more well-rounded human being somewhere else. This is really important, especially because music schools tended to be a little bit different from the rest of college in this regard, because they tended to be a little bit cordoned off from the rest of the college. But one of the big differences between high school and college is that your relationship with your classmates is going to be a lot more fragmented in college than it is in high school, because your interests are going to be a lot more fragmented, and the way that you pursue them is going to be a lot more fragmented. So you'll probably have your studio for the entirety of your college career, but you also want a backup plan. You want more than just the one set of friends, and you want more diversity in your life. So those are the things to keep in mind for college. For those of you who are graduating from college and are faced with the scary project of entering the real world, I have this to say. Be as polite and friendly with as many people as you can. Politeness is the easy part of being a professional, but unfortunately it's a part that an inexplicably high number of people struggle with. When I left Rochester and landed where I am now, the thing that shocked me the most was that I actually received the exact same advice that I'm giving you right now countless times in college. Don't make anyone mad, don't make any enemies. It's a tiny, tiny professional world out there. You will run into people repeatedly. And I came to the town where I currently am, and I was very dismayed at how angry everyone was with each other. It seemed as though everyone had their list of people with whom they would not make music, with whom if you suggested, oh, well, we could do this string quartet with this cellist, I can't tell you how many times I proposed something only to have someone say, oh, I'm not going to work with that person, I've just had too many bad experiences. The only thing that I can suppose is that I guess people change after leaving college, and people start to maybe get a little bit more ego, which is doubly hardened for us professional musicians, partially because we have to work so hard to carve out a niche for ourselves, and people start to get territorial about the things that they get because they work so hard for them. And also because we have artistic egos. We have I need X, Y, and Z to make music, the end. And our music, or our business is so connectional and interdependent. In other industries, it's a lot easier to say, well, Steve didn't file his report, and that's why I couldn't give my paperwork, get my paperwork in on time. It's a lot harder to be able to objectively say, well, my stand partner was out of tune, and that's what threw off my rhythm. Because it's so interdependent in that way, and people are very territorial and protective of their turf in the professional world. So don't make anyone mad. Just be as polite as you can be. And you have additional incentive to do this as well, because you're the new guy on the block. Any community that you go into outside of college, there are going to be teachers and players there who've been there since before you were born, accumulating students and networking and getting in people's good graces. And the professional world is a world, the professional freelance world anyways, is a world of power brokers. It's your job as the new guy to figure out who the power brokers are and to suck up like it's your job, because until you have yourself established, it is your job to get in the good graces of the people who hold the keys to the musical community, wherever it is you're going to end up. So, be nice to people. It's not just a good thing to do, it's also a professional necessity for a new college graduate. Lastly, for those of you who are graduating college, I grew frustrated when I first graduated from college because I had been told that my degrees from the University of Michigan and Eastman School of Music would open just about any doors for me. The problem is that lots of doors are locked shut until someone leaves. Tenure problems that you hear about in other fields, tenure problems of ineffective employees being held over for longer than they should be because of tenure, or people making power plays because they know they have tenure and they can get away with it. Those things play the musical industry too, and there are plenty of people out there who, if it were a totally open field, if you're a graduate of a major musical conservatory, most per-service orchestras, there are at least one or two individuals who you can probably outplay in an audition. But the problem is that door is locked tight until that person retires because of the way that tenure works. So I grew frustrated because I perceived that there were people without anywhere near my level of qualifications who were achieving more than I was just because they had been around longer. It's important to sustain yourself both, of course, economically, but also intellectually in the interim. So I found that it was really useful to diversify myself, and I started designing a class series that I could offer to the general public. Basically, I found a way to monetize my degree in a way that I hadn't expected. So when you graduate, there won't be all of the opportunities that you want right away. The important thing is that you not let yourself get down and not say, "Ugh, man, if I could just take these auditions then I'd be okay." Well, that's true, but your degree is good for more than just taking auditions as well. It's good for being inventive and creating new projects. If you're a graduate of an institution that has a halfway decent musical program at an academic institution, then you should be able to figure out a way to monetize your degree. So don't let the lack of opportunities stand in your way. Go figure something out. So, that's that. That's all the wisdom that I have to dispense. I hope that you've enjoyed this year as much as I have. And I hope that, well, I wish you well in your musical careers and in your other endeavors. And I hope that everything turns out well for you. That's all. I'm going to sign off now. Take care.